G'day, welcome back to Gaz Gadgets. Today we're having a look at the Melbourne Tool Company low angle block plane. YouTube keeps recommending to people that we should have low angle block planes. I thought I'd buy one and see what they're like. All I have is the old Stanley number 4, which I use all the time. I found it a little bit awkward doing arises and so forth on the edge of timber, single-handedly, so I thought I'd try a block plane just to see how that would go. And spoiler alert, I'm having a ball with this little plane. It's great for just that purpose of knocking the edge off timber, easy to handle. First impression here, you can see it's got hefty weight to it. I was very surprised for such a small product could have so much weight, which is really helpful in when you're using it, just to have that heft. All the mechanisms operate very smoothly, and I was very impressed straight out of the box just how well everything fit together. The thickness of this blade is very impressive. Seems like you're going to have a lifetime of use out of a little plane like this. Of course, straight out of the box, it's got a whole lot of oil on it for protection against corrosion while it's in storage, so all that's got to come off. So I'm pulling it all apart here just to get all the oil and grease off. The base there where the blade connects to the base of the plane is very smooth. I did read some reviews and saw some YouTube clips of people that had bought perhaps an earlier one where that machining was nowhere near as clean as the one that I've got. I was very pleased with this. The machining is very precise, really flat, and so they've obviously been getting some feedback and listening to that feedback and making some changes in the manufacturing process to improve the quality of their planes, which is great. Similarly with the paint on the base, very high quality paint job. Very pleased with the way that's been finished off. All in all, this is quite a precise piece of equipment, and I think they've done a great job. So very impressed with what I've seen so far. Spend a bit of time here just getting more of the oil off, having a look at all the parts and how they fit together. And as I said, it's every piece is machined really well. Tolerances are very tight, and it's a great first impression that I've got straight out of the box here. I grabbed some isopropyl alcohol just to give everything a bit of a clean to get that grease off. Speed things up here because this is obviously not that interesting to watch. So hurry up. Let's move on to the next step. I just grabbed some WD-40 off the shelf. Give that a bit of a squirt on a bit of cloth here, just to oil up these parts again. Help with corrosion resistance and just to lubricate all the moving parts here. So I haven't even used a plane yet, but everyone tells you, and I think it's a good idea to just pull it apart, oil things up, and then give the iron sharpen the edge, because obviously from the factory they're not quite ready to use. So I'm just grabbing a diamond stone here. I normally use WD-40 even on my diamond stones. I know a lot of people use water. I don't like using water. The shavings from the iron after using water tend to rust on them, even if you do clean them off. So I find the WD-40 just looks after the diamond stone a little bit better. I spent a bit of time on this. When I first actually started sharpening this, I used one of my old oil stones, but it wasn't as flat as it should have been. I don't mind using the stone on a wider plane because a little bit of a camber on a plain iron works fine, particularly on a smoothing plane like the Stanley No. 4. But on this I decided I wanted it dead flat, so I had to give it a bit of work just to flatten it back out again. And you can see here after a strop it comes up really nice. This is a great iron. I love the thickness of the plain iron here, which is great. It's a new strop. I obviously need to glue that leather down onto something, make it a bit easier to use, but it did the job here first time use. I just grabbed some leather off eBay and some honing paste from Timbercon, and hence my strop. Now that everything's back together again on the block plane, tension everything back up again, I'm just smoothing the base. There was really hardly any work required here. This base was dead flat already. I'm just giving it a few runs over some paper here with some oil just to give it a bit of a final hone. But that's it. Didn't require much, and it's dead flat. Very pleased, very impressed with the Melbourne Tool Company work they've done here. I know they make these overseas and not in Melbourne, but clearly a local design and management, and they've seemed to have improved these a lot, and they're a great little plane. So after cleaning it again from flattening that base, now line the plane up. I'm not going to go through this in a lot of detail. There's plenty of YouTube clips out there that show you how to do this, but I'm just getting the plain iron or the blade flat with the base, protruding just a little bit, and let's just see what this thing planes like. So this is, you're seeing this for the first time. This is my first use, and it seems to work really well. Have a look at this. Nothing on the first pass, just push the blade out a little bit. Pushed it out probably a little bit too much here, but that was nice and smooth and easy. This is a bit of Australian hardwood, kiln dried hardwood, just eucalypt, probably Vic Ash or Tassie Oak, something like that. So not too hard, but hard enough to give the plane a bit of a test. And after a few goes over here with the block plane, nice smooth finish. Very pleased with the results. It's a pleasure to use. Let's try to see how it goes with a bit of end grain here. You'll see my planer, my bench vise, I don't know what you would use this, but like a wedge just to help balance the pressure out on a piece of wood at the end. These aren't available for sale. I copied this design off, I'll put a link to the YouTube guy that sells these, and you can buy one from him. They're a great little gadget. I just 3D printed my own because it was quicker than trying to get one from the States. So yep, this works, block plane works fine on end grain, and very pleased with the results there. Just trying an arras edge on the end grain here. Again, beautiful smooth, no real tear out from this. And KD hardwood, Australian hardwood is prone to some chip out, so I was sort of pleased that seems to work quite well here. So that covers, the Melbourne Tool Company low angle block plane. I was very pleased with the results out of the box after a little bit of tuning, and this is going to be my go-to plane from now on. I still use the Stanley number 4 for flattening pieces of wood, and I find myself going to this block plane regularly just to knock the corners off pieces of plywood and timber, and so far, and I've had it now for about 3 months, not using it every day but using it often, and it's still held its edge really fine. I haven't had to take the blade out to sharpen it again since, and so very pleased with being able to get a good edge on it. It holds its edge really well, and I've got no hesitation in recommending this block plane to anybody who's interested in getting one. So well done, Melbourne Tool Company, and hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.